Hello, friends. Do not forget to subscribe and press the like. Horror stories are many and spread around the world. Rather, there are many terrifying legends specific to each country. There is no doubt that horror stories always attract many followers around the world. This story revolves around a girl named Miyi. Miyi lived in a simple village. But in order to complete her university studies, Miyi moved to the capital, Seoul, years ago. One day, while Miyi was sitting in her room studying, she felt as if someone was near her. This thing was so close that Miyi could feel his breath as if he was breathing in her face. Miyi began to calm herself down and said, "This must be the effect of lack of sleep. I haven't slept well for a few days." Miyi's feeling increased, and she made sure that there was a strange entity present with her in the same room. Miyi started screaming and ran out of her room. Miyi stood in front of the door of her room very afraid. Miyi remembered back to an earlier time, precisely at the time when a series of strange events began to haunt her. About a month ago, Miyi was on one of the buses that had an accident. Horrifying, Miyi remembered the details of that painful conversation that claimed the lives of large numbers of people and how she miraculously survived as the bus collided with a giant transport truck that day, which caused the bus to overturn more than once. At first, I thought that she was very lucky because she was able to survive such an accident, but the poor girl did not know that what happened with her was the beginning of mysterious and terrifying events. Since my return home, she began to feel as if there was a mysterious entity or an angry spirit. She came with her from this accident, as if there was a roommate living with Miyi, but it came to the point that Miyi was feeling the sound of hot breath close to her. What made the matter even more terrifying is that Miyi was feeling that this entity would pounce on her and try to kill her. Miyi used to go out in the morning to the university, and in the evening, when she returned, she would find her room as if a hurricane passed through it. Miyi realized that this entity was angry and wanted her to leave this place of residence. Miyi thought of moving from her current residence and looking for another place, but Miyi remembered that housing prices in Seoul are very high. As for the place where Miyi lives, it was cheap. Somewhat, as it was close to her place of work and also from the university, and therefore Miyi would not be able to find another place with these features. I remembered that her mother had given her a necklace. This necklace is a talisman that protects a person from any danger. She is the amulet and hugs her tightly. Then Miyi hangs this necklace above her bed. In fact, that spell had the effect of magic, as after Miyi hung it up and went to sleep, that night passed peacefully, and nothing suspicious happened. I called her in the morning to thank her for this spell. Miyi slept soundly for the first time. Miyi woke up to go to university. Before Miyi left the room, she called her mother to thank her, but her mother did not answer. At that time, Miyi thought that her mother might be busy or she may still be asleep. Miyi left her dormitory and headed to the university. All that happiness disappeared as soon as Miyi returned from the university. When Miyi returned, she saw that the room in which she lived was completely destroyed. This is not what struck fear in Miyi's heart. The necklace containing the talisman disappeared. The series continued. The strange and suspicious things of the poor girl Miyi discovered that her computer, which she was sure she had closed before going out, was working, and even someone used it. She went to see the secret of that computer. She sat on the chair and saw written words in front of her. While Miyi was reading the writing, she noticed as if there was a shadow behind her, He looked back and was surprised. There was a girl almost the same age as Mahi standing in front of her. The entity in Mahi's face screamed. I lost consciousness. I woke up on her bed and on the ceiling of the room found Mahi, a phrase written in blood saying, "If you do not leave today, you will die." I had no other choice but to leave that place and look for another place to live. With it, that angry entity declared its intent openly.